This is the only long filler $5 cigar left in existence that I can really find. That's worth smoking, I should add. It's $5.50, dude. Solid Toro size. Plus, matches the cub, so pretty good little coordination there. Foundation Cigars Shady Moose. I feel like it's a hidden gem, okay? Because it seems too good to be true, but I don't think it is. I think it's true as it ever was. This cigar I saw in my local B&M for, I guess I can't say prices on YouTube, but this dollars and that cents. I guess I said in the intro, it's $5.50. And I was like, oh, that must be a Cuban sandwich, which is fine, you know, but that's different than a long filler cigar. And sure enough, I bought one anyway. I was like, I like the band. I think it's fun. I like a good cheap Connecticut, something to have after work. It smells delicious. We'll get into that. But anyway, so I had it in my humidor, and I like to buy certain sticks, and then I'll go home and look up reviews on them. You know, I'm just waiting for them to settle in and be ready to smoke. So I read a lot of bad and poor reviews on this cigar, and I was like, no, I guess that one's a stinker, you know? And then I smoked it, and I was like, I remember that. I literally did that exact thing. The first, like, 3 draws I took, I was like, that's a good freaking cigar, dude. What are these people talking about? So, that being said, they've got a whole line. They've got the Chillin' Moose, the Chillin' Moose 2, the Bull Moose, and the Shady Moose. I've had the Chillin' Moose, I believe, which is a 6x60, which it tastes like sweet. It's a nice taste, but it's such a large ring gauge. I feel like it takes away any aspect of spice, any sort of feeling on the retrohale, which is like, sounds nice, you know. People think Cuban cigars are like so creamy and like so smooth, and it's like, well, yeah, but when there's no spice on the retro, you miss it. You're like, oh, that's strange. So I think if they did the, whatever I said it was, the Chillin' Moose, and like a Toro or Robusto, which as far as I know they don't, but they might, I don't know. I'm just a guy. But I think it'd be a lot better. But this cigar I've had like 3 or 4 times and I've loved it. So this one's been aging for only a couple weeks, but for me that's a long time. But we've got an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, and we've got a complex blend of long fillers from the Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Colombia, and the United States. Thought it'd be funny to do United States in the most thick accent. But that's a hodgepodge. That's a lot of stuff just crammed into one, so it's exciting. I didn't realize I had that many, different fillers in there, but that leads me to realize why it's so yummy. It's not like a 5-year-old. My tummy lovies, it's so yummy. It's got a Mexican binder, compadre, so it's an interesting little guy. I love this thing. And I'm going to stop gesturing with it. I'm going to light it up. But first I got to cut it. Cuban Crafters. ASMR. Let me get everything set up. Great construction on this little guy. I think a box of these is like $100. 20 for $100. Pretty dang good. Perfect draw. The perfect draw. We're off to a good start, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers. I haven't had one in a couple weeks, man. I'm excited. I've been smoking those My Father Connecticut's, which of course are good, but you know, sometimes they feel a little too fancy. Sometimes you just want a nice yellow banded, old reliable Connecticut. Dude, a box for $100? It's not even the sale price, that's just normal. By the way, it's 7 a.m. here. It's a little cloudy today, but that'll keep it nice and cool. So I'm not complaining. I'm complaining a little bit. But... So no spice out of the gate. Just hay. Almost savory in a way. It's almost like salty, but hints of like just a very slight coffee. Nothing jumping out at me like crazy, but mostly hay, earth, a lighter texture. It's not your classic Connecticut, and I love that. I can't stand when I light a Connecticut. I'll tell you a great example is the La Aroma de Cuba Connecticut was such a stupid cigar. That cigar was a F-wording retard, dude. Like, I've had like 3 of them, and every time I light it up, I'm like, do you guys sit in a room and go, let's make the most boring fucking Connecticut in the world, dude? Like, I get it. Wow, it's a Connecticut. Is there anything else you got in there? No. It's just that boring Connecticut flavor the whole way through. Which really bugs me. That just makes me think you didn't really give an S word. You were just like, I don't know, we need a Connecticut. Have Camacho make it and throw our label on it. I don't know how the industry works, but you know what I mean. But this definitely doesn't have that. The only thing that screams Connecticut with this is just how light in strength it is and light in texture it is. So that's good. I like that. I really like that. Love that Garth Brooks clip. Now that coffee's coming in stronger. Same, just a nice, if we were doing percentages, I'd say 60% hay, sweeter, lighter, light textured hay, and then like 30% coffee, and then 10% like a little earthiness. That was a good description. Good job, me. I'm good at this. I'm hearing myself say it. I'm like, yeah, that is what it tastes like. But anyway, I'm going to get more into this, and if anything changes, I will let you know. And by the way, after that horrendous experience with the Placencia earlier, yesterday, if you saw that video, I took a nap because it literally made me feel ill. The thumbnail wasn't clickbait. I genuinely felt just off and sick, and I was like, I'm gonna take a nap. So I did. I woke up, and then I smoked a My Father Blue, and it was so lovely, dude. It was the best. And then I was Googling box prices for My Father Blue, and they're like $200, which is normal, I suppose. You know, they're like $10 a stick, so you know, makes sense. But I'm like, you know, I'm 26. My parents they'll send us a text in like November and be like, what do you want for Christmas? Box of My Father Blues, baby. Order it now. Right now. Tell Santa I want it right fucking now, dude. Toro. Tell Santa I want Toro specifically. But yeah, I'm gonna get a box. I have to. That's just such a reliably good cocoa, earth, lovely cigar. I loved it. And this is so nice. 7 a.m. Birds are chirping. North Carolina pines. It's great. Anyway, I'll get back with you. I'll ramble on forever if you let me. That's your fault. That's on you. I'm victim shaming right now. So I'm about at the start of the second third or so. And honestly, it's fairly stayed the same. But I am getting a little bit of a sweeter earth, I think is the best way to describe it. It went away from that hay predominantly to sweet earth and some coffee. The coffee, I would say, is like if you had, like you went to a coffee shop and you got like a hot, like latte or something. That always sounds like it's going to be like sweet and creamy, and then you drink it and you're like, this is like bitter. But I can tell it's like quality coffee. So it's not bad, but it's just not what I expected. But it smells a lot sweeter than it is. That's kind of how this was. That makes sense. Like right after you draw, you get this kind of top of your nostrils almost gets like a sweet sort of coffee, and then that sort of sweeter earth comes through and kind of takes over. I'm trying to get real descriptive here, but that's the best I can say. Smoking like a champ, dude. I constantly touch my cigars up. I'm barely having to touch it. It's wonderful draw, great construction. $5.50, dude. Get the F word out of here, dog. That's insane. And it's a fun little, I love that band. Big fat Shady Moose sitting down smoking a cigar. That's fun. He's got sunglasses on. That's a good time. I like it. I'll definitely, this would be a box worthy cigar for sure. $100. Get you a box. Throw them in the humidor for years. Let them age up. But yeah, that's one thing I will say if I have a con about it. Which again, it's not even a con because of the price point it's at. But I feel like the tobacco is not quite ready yet. There's a lot of Connecticut's that are that way. And even some that are like $10, $11 that are, you can kind of taste that. Just feels a little too new, if that makes sense. Like, I think this sitting in a humidor for even 6 months, 5-6 months, that would go away. But maybe even less than that. But I'm just trying to pick apart any sort of gripe I have. But any gripe I have is immediately washed out by the price point, if that makes sense. So I've been on the hunt for the best long filler budget cigar, and every time you're looking for budget sticks, you end up in bundle land. And when you end up in bundle land, it's 89 to 95% short filler and 100% ambiguity. Nobody wants to tell you what it is. They just go, great Honduran and Nicaraguan flavors. And you're like, what is it? Google the phrase, this cigar, is it long filler? And you will find nothing. Nobody ever talks about it. That's the first thing I want to know when you're selling me a cheap cigar. Like, that's fine if it's Cuban sandwich. Just tell me, That bothers me. But this is long filler. I've done my due diligence. And, just a little bit of wood is coming through. And it's just such a light textured cigar. It goes really good with coffee, obviously. It's most Connecticut's do. I am going to touch it up because I was sitting here yapping. But a nice cup of coffee, a little bit of cream in there. Grab you one of these. It's a good time. I have nothing bad to say. I'll check back in if something changes or we get to the end. Alright, so I'm about ready to put this out. And in the second, third, and into the last part of this, I've gotten a lot more sweetness, which is usually not the case. Just in general with cigars, usually get a sort of a bitter, a bitterness that comes about towards the end. But this is picked up in sweetness, and I guess just the way they blended that hodgepodge of fillers, It's really nice. It's just a sweet. The hay has almost come back. It's like an almond mixed with a sweet hay. Does that make sense? It's like wood mixed with almond mixed with sweet hay. But I'm calling it here because I really want to go make a pizza. And later on I gotta go be drug tested for a new job that I have. So, yeah. They just, I guess, are making sure I'm not a junkie. But yeah, dude, chillin' Moose? Shady Moose. I get them confused all the time. So they both sound like great Connecticut names. But anyway, Shady Moose is your best bet for a budget long filler cigar in today's market. Pardon. I remember a couple of years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was, the brick houses were $6. Life was good then, man. Life was good. You get a Perla Del Mar for freaking $5, some change, $6 maybe, depending on the size. But now it's impossible, dude. I go in and I'm looking at brick houses for like $9. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? It's scary times out there for us. And then you think of how terrible places like Canada and certain places in Europe have it. So I'm complaining, but dude, over there, they have to pay like double the price, and then they put a sleeve around the band. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, wipe my ass while you're at it. You know, fix me a sippy cup too. Can't be an adult there and smoke a cigar without the most ridiculous rules in the world. But that's why Canada blows and will always blow, and is full of garbage and disgusting culture. So Canada blows and they hate freedom. That's how I'm ending this episode. But get I just have a real beef with Canada, the cigars thing. Get a Shady Moose and go bananas. I'm gonna go make a pizza and eat the whole thing to the dome, dude. I'm gonna eat that whole thing by myself. And I can't wait. I'm gonna take a little nap and then go take a drug test. Okay. Goodbye.